As you're building your AngularJS applications, you'll find yourself repeating some code across controllers. This may be things like calculations or AJAX calls or some other type of related code. So in this module, we're going to talk about how we can refactor code that's maybe shared across controllers out into factories or services. Now, factories and services are built directly into the AngularJS framework, and they make it really easy to provide a single place to go for reusable code. And we'll specifically talk about the difference between them, how you can create a factory and service, add it to a module, and how you can inject a factory or service into something like a controller. So let's go ahead and get started.
So we'll start off by providing an overview of factories and services and talking about why you'd want to use them in your apps. From there, I'm going to show you the role of factories, and we'll look specifically at the code required to create a factory, how do we add that factory into a module, and how do they work. I'll then contrast that with a service, which can actually do the same type of functionality and behavior, but it's a little bit different from a code standpoint. From there, we'll talk about different techniques that can be used for defining application values in your AngularJS apps. And then we'll wrap up by discussing AJAX calls and how you can use factories or services to make those so that we define those in maybe one or two factories or services, and then all your controllers can simply call into those. Now, from a big picture standpoint, we've discussed quite a bit up to this point. We've talked about modules and how they act as containers, how we can configure routes, which have views and controllers, and use scope for data binding, and also talked a little bit about directives. So now we're going to focus in this area right here with factories. Now I have the star there because there's more to the story than just factories, and as mentioned, I'll talk about services and some other things along the way. So let's go ahead and get started.